There's a protest happening in New York City outside of Fox News. It's a 100-hour protest, and it's by a group called refusefascism.org. And let's go ahead and talk to one of the organizers, Sunsara Taylor. Sunsara, are you there?
Hey, I am. I'm right here in front of Fox Fascist News Network. How are you?
Okay, I'm good. We all hate fascism, that's for sure. And Donald Trump is certainly one of my least favorite politicians of all time. Tell us what you guys are doing, what's happening.
So yeah, we're about 60 hours into a 100-long-hour, night and day, 24/7 protest here in front of the fascist Fox News Network, because it is the main propaganda arm of the Trump-Pence regime, which is a fascist regime. It's a danger to humanity. We are out here indicting their lies. We are interacting with the people on the streets of New York, thousands and thousands of people from all over the world. And we're building momentum and involving people towards protests at the end of the 100 hours across this country on July 15th to demand that the Trump-Pence regime must go. In the name of humanity, we refuse to accept a fascist America. We refuse to accept the Muslim ban, the attacks on civil liberties, the roundups and detentions and tearing apart of millions and millions of immigrant families. Immigrants are full human beings. They're not illegal. They're not rapists. Muslims are full human beings. Women are full human beings. We are here because science matters and climate change is real. And Trump has put a climate change denier in charge of the EPA that could destroy the whole planet. And we are here because the lesson of history is that you have to stop fascism before it is too late, before it's consolidated. And there's a lot of people who hate Trump. I count myself among them. There's millions and millions who are grotesque, like disgusted by what this regime is doing. And many have protested, and that's righteous. But if we don't come together with a single unifying demand to drive them from power, not in 2 years, not in 4 years, then we are complicit with the consolidation of fascism in the sole superpower on the planet. And even Hitler did not have nuclear weapons. This man is so dangerous. Trump, Pence, Sessions, the whole regime. So we are out here protesting at Fox, building momentum for July 15th, which itself is a further launching point to the days when very soon we're fighting for this to happen, when millions take to the streets and stay in the streets and drive this fascist regime from power in the name of humanity.
What happens? So let's say you're successful and Trump and Pence resign. Who becomes president then? Paul Ryan, correct?
Mm-hmm. Well, I'll tell you, if you go through the normal procedures, that will, first of all, never happen because there's no will to do that in Congress. And yeah, if that unrealistic scenario played out, you'd have Paul Ryan. But what we're talking about is an upsurge from below that changes the calculus of every force in society, including among the rulers. And I will say that when you look at the kind of upheaval and protest and resistance from below that was part of the mix, not the only factor, but part of the mix that led to ousting Nixon, they had to actually shift directions. And they got rid of the vice president before they got rid of Nixon. They all of a sudden new mechanisms opened up because of the demand of the people. And what we're saying is that we have to open up new space and new possibility through the mass determined resistance of millions.
I guess my question is, who do you want to so if let's just who would you rather see president right now? I mean, every Republican, the party as a whole denies climate change, denies science. So, I mean, by the way, the Democrats also are at they're the reason why we're exporting natural gas right now, because Barack Obama repealed the regulations against exporting fossil fuels. And that's why we have the keys. That's why, in fact, in California right now, they just installed a pharmaceutical lobbyist as the Democratic Party's chairman. And the Democrats are killing single payer while Jerry Brown is pro-fracking. So I guess my point is it a little narrow, your focus? Isn't the problem really the corruption inside both parties and the government itself? If we get rid of Donald Trump, he's just a symptom of the problem. He's not the problem, right?
Well, I have to take apart what you're saying because there's different elements. First of all, I've been no fan and I continue to be no fan of the Democratic Party. But as many crimes as I believe, and I speak for myself in that Refuse Fascism has a multitude of views, but as many crimes as I recognize that Obama carried out against immigrants, in keeping Guantanamo open, in opening up more deep sea drilling, and other things which I think are very dangerous and harmful to humanity, we have to be real. Donald Trump is a qualitative worsening. He is a qualitative change in the form of rule. This is Mike Pence, Donald Trump, Jeff Sessions are actually fascists. I don't use that word as an insult. I use it scientifically. The body slamming of CNN. I'm no fan of CNN, but putting out a video of body slamming a journalist and the whole news network of shooting them out of the sky, Top Gun style. This is an outright fascist move. They fire anybody in power who disagrees with them. And so what we're saying is, first of all, we have to recognize that there's something qualitatively different and dangerous that has a limited shelf life before the window to stop it is closed, that we have to rise up. And as opposed to picking among the existing options within the halls of power, which Republican would you rely on, which Democrat would you rely on, they are all terrible. They are all terrible. I'm talking about creating a situation where the people are aroused and organized in their millions, first of all, to drive this regime out. And second of all, whatever comes after that, you will have a situation where people have changed who we are, what we are willing to put up with, and what we are capable of demanding and wrenching out of this situation. It's a very different situation that will be created through our action.
Hey, MSNBC just hired Megyn Kelly to make sure Santa Claus stays white. If you're sick of that kind of bullshit lefty corporatism from the news, support aggressive progressives right here at the Young Turks Network. You become a member for $10 a month. It gets you access to the whole show. We do an hour every week, and it gets you access to all the other member benefits at the Young Turks. Stick your thumb in the eye of the corporate news and become a member of TYT Network. Go to tytnetwork.com/join and find out what it's all about.